I wonder who could that be? If you played Battletoads and Double Dragon, you'll know exactly who that is. That's Big Black. You know, that giant fucking rat that you can play tennis with in Battletoads and Double Dragon. You can do that in the regular Battletoads too. He was in that game as well. You know, in Surf City. And this is a very familiar looking level, isn't it? It's a Wookiee hole. Except a lot more menacing looking. Also, they have these things. Like, what the fuck is this supposed to be? What the fuck, dude? Granted, there are no random crows in this area, but there are these annoying little gargoyle creatures which are pretty hard to deal with, and there's a larger group of them. I recommend just wailing on them as fast as you can. Meanwhile, these random splatterhouse faces, they're also pretty annoying, I gotta say. There's just something about this level that has annoying enemies. But to deal with the annoyance, they give you a special ability. You have like a screen nuke, let's call it. If you press jump, you initiate it and you destroy all of the enemies on sight. Or so you'd think, actually, but if there's a fuckload of enemies, you don't actually destroy all of them. You just destroy most of them. Let's show it off. You press jump and you turn into this wrecking ball if you're playing as Rash. I believe if you're playing as Zitz, you turn into a saw blade. I don't remember what you turn into if you're playing as Pimple though. I think the Wrecking Ball is the best thing to turn into because it goes all over the place, and I think it lasts the longest too. The Saw Blade lasts a shorter amount of time, definitely, and also is not as bouncy. It goes vertically, you know, up and down rather than left and right. So it makes it more difficult to get hits on. Also just picked up another screen nuke, which will be very useful. You get to more screen nukes if you die though, so it's not that big of a deal. Now these guys are kind of annoying if you don't hit them right away, but if you do hit them, they get stunned, which is useful. Oi now! Oi, fuck you! Ooh, that gotta hurt. Yeah, these guys take a lot of hits, don't they? They also have pretty annoying voices, I have to say. I'm not a fan of these guys. I like the crows better. But you know, it kinda doesn't make sense for regular crows to be involved. Yeah, see? If you hit these guys in the face, they get stunned. Hitting them in the face is kinda difficult. So don't be surprised if you fuck up a few times. Yeah, no. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't actually kill everyone. But it did kill a lot of them. Aw, man. Oh, I didn't miss it yet. I could still get it with this thing. No, I can't. Never mind. Or whatever. It's not that it's important anyway, because I mean, I will die in just one extra hit, so I'll get those screen nukes back. In fact, that might be happening right now. You know, I do wonder now, if the Battletoads cartoon didn't suck anus, would it be pretty cool? It would be interesting to see it. I don't think they ever gonna try doing that again, but it would be interesting. I mean, nowadays it would probably be a lot easier to make it good. Snappa. That is a good name. Ugly mug. Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty ugly mug, but damn. I don't know what to say. Not the nicest name for an enemy. The Dealer of Death. But that was not the end of this, like, zone, I wanna say. Like, we are now in the proper area where the boss fight will be. This is like a hall of fame of all the baddies which we fought so far and will be fighting. Well, except the Dark Queen. We don't actually get to fight her in this game. I do like how we get to fight her in the first two games, so regular Battletoads and Battletoads Double Dragon. It's pretty cool. I guess she decided that she had enough ass whooping for one time. Smush. Hey, who's that over there? Why, it's the boss of this area. The portrait is remarkably similar to that of the portrait you see in Battletoads Double Dragon, actually. Might be the exact same. Or at the very least slightly updated. Uncanny resemblance. Oi! I love that. This is like the only game that lets you grab enemies by the balls. Like, do you know any other games that let you do that? I don't. Well, I mean, any other games that are good, that is. Hey, and that's General Slaughter right there. We beat his ass up in the first level. I really like this game. There's just not much else to say about it. God damn, how much do they eat so they can puke so damn much? I'll be needing this gun. Because you can just take some pot shots on this guy here with a gun. And stay down! The sound effects are pretty good for whenever you smush somebody. It sounds surprisingly realistic, I have to say. I imagine this game is tons of fun with some friends. But you know, I don't have the kind of friends that are interested in this kind of game. Because they're all a bunch of pussies. They're like, oh no, it's Battletoads, oh man! I'm afraid now. I am traumatized by video games. Well, they're probably not that ridiculous, but they probably would never agree to play this with me. Only because of what the original games are like. Even though this is nothing like the originals. This doesn't even have a speeder section. Sweet. Oh, the Frazzlers are here again. Oh damn, they take more than 2 shots to kill. These pigs with their electrified clunks are a little annoying because if they hit you, they can actually stun lock you pretty nicely. Not that it's a problem, it's pretty easy to stun lock them. You wanna say that to my face? Here we go. Well, instead of speeder sections, we get ball sections. It's time to show off that 3D. And there's plenty to show off. The balls are coming in fucking fast and there's a lot of them. But they're not very difficult to dodge, all things considered. You just gotta keep in mind what the pattern is like and you'll be fine. See, this is pretty easy. You just need to keep track of the pattern, how the balls are coming in, and you'll be good. If you survive that, you are rewarded with some flies to heal up. Now, in case you're wondering, the special moves like the double kick to both sides, or like the kick with a clunk for a foot or whatever, all those special moves happen automatically. The ones where your feet or fists turn into weapons happen whenever you deal a lot of damage or do fatal damage, which kills the enemy. Whereas the double kick from both sides, that kick right there, happens whenever there's two enemies on both sides. It's a pretty nice crowd breaker. You don't have to do anything else because there's only two buttons to use: punch and jump. This is a surprisingly good game to play on the Xbox 360 controller, actually. I don't get to say this very often because the Xbox 360 controller is the hard mode of old school controllers, I wanna say. Because, you know, you never really get to have an easy time with a shitty D-pad that pretends to be a D-pad. But you know, this works pretty nicely. It doesn't require that much precision. Okay, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't see that boss. Was he in the second level? And if so, how did I miss him? Or was he just cut out? Maybe he was just cut out. Would explain it. The pattern is still the same here to my knowledge, but the balls come in slightly differently to try and screw you over. Just keep that in mind. The pattern is still the same. There you go. I do believe those balls are insta-kills, so try not to get hurt by them if you're playing on limited lives. You know, as a challenge or something. That takes care of that. Oh great, there's two of them. And I only have one club to use. Yeah, you don't really want to get stuck in the middle of a crowd. It tends to be difficult to get out of there. Eat this, you motherfucker. We're all in the same fucking crowd now, so it's kind of difficult to deal with them. You say what to me? That's one of them down. And here goes the other one. Not so tough now, are ya? You get one club each per player to deal with Big Black, who is a little smaller in this version for some reason, isn't he? I don't know why you shout suckers whenever you hit him a few times with the club or, well, your fist. But I suppose he's trying to power up some kind of a counterattack. Anyway, now he's in proper size. After a few hits, he inflates himself to be a lot more dangerous. You need to keep hitting him. I think after a little bit of time, he will deflate back to regular size. But you know, the same logic applies as from back from Karnav's boss fight. The more you hit him, the more aggressive he gets. Also keep in mind, Big Black here actually knows how to spin dash, so that can be a problem if you're not expecting it. He usually does it when he's outside of a screen. It's perfectly doable to defeat him in 2 cycles actually, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, since it's pretty easy for him to stomp you, what with his massive size. I might need to go for a 3rd cycle of the inflation. God damn it, I'm stumbling on my words. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do another cycle, it seems. Because from what I understand, you cannot defeat him in this phase. At least that's how I think it is. I've never seen him die in this particular phase. So we'll just have to wait until he inflates. There you go. Stomping time. There we go. What a blowhard, am I right? And you're out. If you don't feel like waiting through this corpse count, you can just press the attack button to speed it up. A perfect solution for the impatient player. These fucking titles. Collector of corpses. So who's next on the list? Oh, here we go, the final boss. You still got to beat my robotic rabble before you've won, you fly-eating fools. And this is where the game suddenly takes a completely different genre. We're now in a space shooter, sort of. You hold attack to shoot, but you're not able to move. In order to move around, you need to let go of the fire button. Or the attack button, I should say. And basically the goal is to just kill enemies, like we did the entire game. Except this time around we are shooting at them rather than punching them. We can get some power-ups for our gun, like the three-way shot. Or, you know, the spread gun, if you want to call it like that. There's also laser and a flamethrower, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Flamethrower against fireballs, surprisingly effective. Now the good thing about these power-ups is that even if you use up a continue, you don't lose them. You only lose them after a little bit of time from use, which is a really good design. I'm really surprised that this is the only game that does this. Alright, here's the laser. I think it has slight homing capabilities. Like it slightly homes in on the targets. But I'm not entirely sure about that. It's a good idea to blow up those bombs before we detonate themselves, because that way you avoid getting hit by their projectiles. Kinda difficult to do that sometimes, but whatever. And of course, if you press jump, you get this awesome spinning attack, which destroys a lot of enemies on the screen as well. Also effective against bosses and effective for picking up power-ups, which is kind of a neat thing. Of course, also depending on your power-up, you also have different speeds for turning around. An interesting little mechanic. It's you turn around the slowest if you have a flamethrower, but you turn around the fastest if you have a laser. Here's a little mini boss, one of the rats with a ship that has the shape of like an elf or something, or maybe a rat. Yeah, I think they were going for like a rat shape. That's a shame. Nice. I also like how bullet holes are created when you miss your shots. Like you actually hit something in the background. It's a pretty cool effect, but not a lot of games take advantage of. It adds just a little bit more of that atmosphere. You know, that thing that a lot of games don't like doing for some reason. The most common power-up, it seems, is the spread shot. But I don't know, I like flamethrower and laser better. There's just something about the spread shot that's not as effective as in other games, like in Contra, for example. I actually survived that. Oh boy. Alright, here is just a little section of falling debris. Just keep shooting up and you should be fine. You should be fine. Damn, they drop a lot of shit on your head, don't they? That fucking voice. Wow! These defense drones. These defense drone sections can drag on a little bit too long, I think. Especially when you're all by yourself, because they're pretty hard to hit. I don't think it's possible to hit all of them by yourself. You gotta have some ridiculous reflexes. Alright. Here's another one of the rats with their ships. Yeah, sure, I'll take the spread shot. This one doesn't go down that easily though. Now it's trying to shoot like this. Doesn't mean shit, it's still going around in a rather predictable pattern, so just do what you have to do. Flammenwerfer! Now you that. Shit. Goddamn lasers. Hey, is this a boss fight? Yes, it is. It's Robo Menace. Kind of a weird name, but whatever. It's a giant fucking robo dude. And he's pretty tough. He shoots a lot of things out. But the first few phases are nothing too special. You shouldn't worry about him too much. This is easily the longest boss fight, being that it is also the last one. It'll take a lot of effort to get through this fucker. But hey, you would expect a decent challenge out of a final boss fight, am I right? You definitely want to get rid of those flamethrowers because they will take a lot of hits off of your HP. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do it, plus a lot of the projectiles that Robo Menace shoots out get in the way while you're destroying the flamethrowers, so it's fine. Only problem is he likes to run off all the time. Whenever you get flamethrower or laser, I recommend using it right on his face, because it deals a lot of damage. Every time he shakes like that and gets upset about something, that means he's changing phases, and that's something you want. This boss fight is really gonna wear down your left thumb, the one that's controlling the D-pad, because goddamn, you need to turn around a lot. Thankfully, you don't need to mash the buttons too much. Alright, here is the fourth phase where he's shooting energy balls. This is kind of doable if you want to do it legit, but you know, I'm playing on free play, so does it really matter if I die? I don't think so. First you gotta target his arms. This is the important part, because whenever his arms are out, he will be crippled. It's not like you can hit his head anyway. Now you can. And this is it, this is the final phase. And it's also the longest phase, because you're not just breaking his fucking head down, you're breaking his fucking skull down. And then smashing his brains into many, many giblets. And this is gonna take a long time. He doesn't do anything different in this boss fight, so this is more of an endurance test more than anything. Here you go. Once you break down through the metal plating, you can actually start damaging his brain. But not quite, because he also has defense shields. So every time you die, just use your screen nukes and make sure to shoot him with every power-up you can pick up. It should speed up the boss fight a little bit. I haven't found the magic spot to stand around in where you wouldn't get hit, because, you know, he shoots at a rather random time, I want to say. Like, not really random, but he moves around a lot, so the magic spot to stand around in to not get hit always changes. So it doesn't mean much if you're just gonna try walking around. If anything, I'd say that just prolongs the fight even more. As if you need the fucking fight to be any longer than this, all things considered, because goddamn is it long. My thumb is already hurting. Alright. Alright, finally the shield is gone and he is dying. This should be it. Yep, this is it. We won.
I'll be back.
Yeah, sure. It sounded better than Schwarzenegger said it. I'll be back. Or something like that. But yeah, finally, we got through this fucking game. No kidding either. This is it. This was the last level. Okay, I think we can skip this. Because that's a lot of fucking missiles. Nice. Nearly 1,000 baddies got destroyed. Bad guys never seem to go quietly, so Robo's last shot reduces the Toad's sporty space cruiser to a flaming jalopy. Trying hard but failing miserably to maintain their cool, unflappable image, the Toads crash their bullet-ridden banger onto an empty planet. As the Toads are the heroes in this game, they escape the mangled wreck completely unscathed. Using the teleporters that they just happened to have with them, they travel back to base. How convenient! Totally awesome, you whooped the Dark Queen's butt and thwarted her usual galaxy-dominating plans. Oh wow, I improved my playtime a little bit. About 6 minutes faster than yesterday. But yeah, that was the Battletoads, also known as Super Battletoads for the arcades. Overall, there's really not much to say. It's Battletoads, it's a beat 'em up, and it's goddamn good. I really like this. I think out of all the Battletoads games out there, this one is the best to go for. But who knows? I haven't tried them all yet, but from all the ones that I tried, yeah, this is definitely the best one. If not for the gameplay, then definitely for all the other doodads. The gruesomeness, the music, the graphics, the humor. It's damn good. I wholeheartedly recommend checking this out if you haven't. Masters of Mission time. Alright, let's put in the initials. Not that they're gonna save, but whatever. Might as well. 55 minutes and 31 seconds. So the fastest time is 55 minutes. Ah, man, I was so close to it then. And then the greatest grave fillers. That's how many kills you got. 914 is at the top. Sweet. Check that score out. You're the leanest, meanest, and greenest killing machine that ever wasted some rats. Hell yeah. Well, anyway, that was a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll pick up on more arcade games, but we'll see how it works out. Most likely yes, we will, but you know, all in due time. With that said, I'm Waldo Richards from DaGameTrain. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!